Serethi Voss pressed her thumb against the corroded data chip and felt the edge bite into skin. Good. Still sharp enough to scrape contact points clean. She slid the chip into her belt pouch alongside 3 others, wiped the rust-colored condensation from her visor, and kept moving through the narrow corridor. Boots wrapped in salvaged cable, grinding against the metallite floor. The Warren Junction opened ahead, amber emergency strips casting their uneven glow across a dozen scavengers kneeling beside corroded blankets. Dome seal patches, cracked water canisters, Progenitor circuit wafers laid out like offerings to a god who had abandoned 12,000 people to choke on his failures. Serethi traded 2 data chips for a half-liter of water and did not bargain. There was nothing to bargain with. She drank half in the corridor, sealed the rest. The walls sweated their orange-brown tears around her, and the air tasted of iron and 3 centuries of slow collapse. The ruin entrance was where it had always been, a fracture in the compressed metallite 2 levels below the main warrens, wide enough for 1 person if she turned sideways. Most scavengers stopped at the upper chambers, where the easy salvage lived. Serethi had cleaned those out years ago. She squeezed through the fracture and descended. Darkness folded around her. Her helmet light cut a narrow cone through dust that hung motionless in the dead air. The walls here were different. Not carved metallite, but the dark alien material of Progenitor construction, veined with hairline channels that had once carried light. Dead now. Dead for centuries. Except they hummed when she touched them. She had never told anyone about the humming. Maren had known, of course. Maren had known everything and said nothing until the mineral paste had eaten her throat raw, and there was only 1 night of whispered speech remaining. Serethi placed her palm flat against the wall. The hum traveled up her wrist, settled in her sternum. Familiar, like pressing her ear to a sleeping chest and hearing the heart beneath. She followed it deeper. The cathedral chamber opened around her, ceiling sagging inward at fractured angles. Rubble mounded across the floor in shapes that might once have been furniture, or machines, or something with no human word. Her light found the artifact at the chamber's center. A cylinder of dark metal, half buried in debris, its surface dense with Progenitor script she could not read. She had passed this artifact dozens of times, scraped salvage from the rubble around it, never touched it directly. Something about its silence had warned her, the way everything else hummed, and this thing simply waited. Today the water was low. Today the last shipment had been 3 weeks late. Today the memory of Maren's final whisper circled her skull like a trapped insect. Coordinates she had memorized but never followed, a destination on no chart she had ever seen. Serethi knelt beside the cylinder, brushed debris from its surface with her scarred forearm. The script beneath was sharp-edged, untouched by the corrosion that had eaten everything else in this ruin. She pressed both palms against it. The hum hit her like a wall of sound felt rather than heard, a vibration that started in her hands and exploded through her skeleton. The hairline channels in the walls ignited. Blue-white light raced outward from the artifact in branching veins, climbing the walls, spreading across the fractured ceiling, filling the cathedral chamber with a cold radiance that turned 3 centuries of darkness into something that looked like dawn. Serethi tried to pull her hands away. They would not move. The light pulsed. Once, twice. Each pulse brighter, each vibration deeper, the script on the cylinder's surface rearranging itself in patterns that moved too fast to track. She felt something behind her eyes. Not pain, not thought, but recognition. The artifact was reading her. Maren's voice surfaced in her memory. That last night. The alcove in the Warrens with its single amber strip overhead. Corroded data chips strung along the wall like a rosary. the bowl of mineral paste on the low shelf. Marin's weathered hands gripping hers. Marin had whispered, "They put a message in the Singer network. Before you were born. Someone wanted you found." Serethi had asked, "Who?" And Marin had said, "I never learned." But the message carried coordinates. A place beneath an ocean on a world with no name. That is where you go when dust can no longer hold you. The artifact pulsed a third time. The blue-white light reached a frequency that made Serethi's teeth ache. Somewhere in the walls, something mechanical engaged. A deep grinding vibration that traveled through the floor, through her knees, through the planet itself. The cylinder beneath her palms grew warm. Then it released her. Serethi fell backward onto rubble. The chamber still blazed with light, but the artifact had gone quiet, its script frozen in a configuration she had never seen. The silence that followed was not the silence of dormancy. It was the silence of something finished, a signal sent, she understood before she understood. The way her body understood falling before her mind named the ground. The artifact had not read her. It had broadcast her genetic signature, her bloodline markers, the encoded identity of a house erased 12 centuries ago, transmitted across a sensor network that spanned the galaxy. She was visible now. Every faction, every house, every intelligence apparatus and religious order and military command that had spent 1,000 years making certain House Salabri stayed dead. They all knew now that someone carrying that blood was alive on a death world called dust. The luminous veins in the walls began to dim. As they faded, Serethi looked down at her hands. Along the base of her skull, spreading down her neck in lines she could feel but not yet see, something new was forming. A warmth beneath the skin, the faintest glow, binding scars. She touched the necklace at her throat. Marin's necklace, corroded data chips on fraying wire, one for each civilization the old woman had carried in her voice. Serethi's fingers closed around it. She climbed, back through the cathedral chamber with its dying light, back through the corridor of alien walls where the hum had guided her down, back through the fracture in the metallite, turning sideways, cable-wrapped boots finding purchase on corroded stone. The surface took her breath. Dusk on dust, the chemical haze filtering the dying sun into bruised amber and violet, the rust-orange wasteland stretching to every horizon, wind carrying fine particulate in low horizontal sheets that hissed against her visor. Collapsed progenitor arches jutted from the dunes like the ribs of something vast and starved. Serethi knelt, not from exhaustion, from the weight of it. She closed her eyes and felt the wind press against her face, felt the grit accumulate in the folds of her envirosuit, felt the planet she had never left already becoming the planet she was about to leave behind. Marin had known, had raised her and fed her and taught her to scavenge and kept the secret folded inside decades of silence, had waited until the mineral paste stole everything but a single night of whispered words, and had spent that night giving Serethi the only inheritance that mattered, a direction, coordinates to a world beneath an ocean, a world with no name on any chart. Serethi opened her eyes. The dusk light caught them, pale gray, reflective, wrong in a way she had never been able to explain. Behind her, deep in the ruin, the last of the blue-white light guttered and died. Ahead of her, the chemical wind carried the dust of a planet that had been killing its people for 300 years. She stood, tightened the cable around her boots, checked the seal on her remaining water. Then Serethi Voss walked toward the shuttle yards, and dust did not follow.